Welcome in to another episode of Trust the Process Live. Gentlemen, how we doing? Before we get introductions at this point seem so non-necessary.
You gotta introduce us.
All right, well, I'm gonna get there.
I'm Mystery Man 1 and that's Mystery Man 2.
Personally, I want to know how you're feeling more than who you are.
I mean,
that's
honestly,
very courteous of you. I'm doing great.
Gentleman-like thing to say.
I'm doing great.
Very honest.
I try. All right, hey, as always, I am your host, James Hyden, along with my guys, my friends, James Hyden. Oh my goodness, James Jackson. See, that's where my head's at. James Jackson, the young gentleman, and Mr. 5 Digits, Max Coolish. Fellas, so we're good? We're good?
Gravy,
we're fantastic?
I know he's doing great.
We're gravy.
I might be doing better than a little bit better than y'all right now. You're trying to mask the Sixers under Flyers fandom. And that's still, it's one of your teams, you rep them hard. I'll give you credit.
I'm asking the Sixers thing under the premise that the bubble is a whole different world.
Max, I know you. They don't know you, I know you. I can see, come here. I can see you, come here. I can see you're hurting a little bit, buddy.
Thank you.
I know, I can see you a little bit hurt.
That was special right there.
Hey, you know what?
Just another night of watching someone else drop a 50-piece on the Sixers and one of my two star players get hurt.
Where I need to instill tough love on Max. That he needs to listen to me, I need to pull him down. And then there are times where he just needs to be confronted. Or be comforted.
Thank you.
Big
difference.
Yeah, watching your two best players on back-to-back games go out from maybe season-ending injuries.
No, Embiid's fine.
It's a time to get comforted.
My goodness, I guess my head's just a little wrapped up in the Flyers, but
oh yeah,
that's where he wants to play.
We'll get there. I don't want to jump the proverbial shark before we get there. I don't want to do a COVID update this week. I really don't. It's to the point where you can get all your news not from
the only COVID update worth noting is the pitchers on the Indians. They got sent home.
Yeah,
how dumb do you have to be? And
we've talked about this. You know what I mean? Like the NHL and the NBA both have 0 new positive tests.
Again,
I don't expect that to change.
7,600 for the NHL.
And we all three of us have agreed that the MLB is just completely the biggest flight risk. You got Zach Plesac and Mike Clevenger literally going to a bar in Cleveland.
But Mike, what's stopping them? They're like, what? From the MLB?
It should be themselves. That's what we're hoping for.
It should be themselves, but it's clear in all leagues you can't police grown men. I mean, there have been NBA players who've broken the rules too.
Already?
But the protocols are in place for that when they go back, that they go back in a safe environment and they don't endanger anyone else, and then they come up with 0 positive tests.
Yeah.
There's nothing in place from the MLB that stops you from doing that. If you're in a place that's open, there's nothing stopping you from doing it.
Yeah, you're trusting grown men who get paid millions of dollars.
Before we go on, how dumb can you be? You know you're gonna get tested.
Apparently, very.
You're gonna get tested. How are you not
It's just taking the risk of saying I
just
don't think I'm gonna get it.
If you want to get wasted, I totally get it. Just get some carry out, mask up, have someone get you carry out and down a 6-pack at your house or something.
And drink in the comfort of your own home.
It was with their teammates.
It was a teammate. Do a teammate bonding thing. Hell, he's getting tested too. So if you're both with each other, whatever, man.
So I guess we did do a COVID
furious
update.
if that was someone who's on a team that I swore. I would be furious.
Oh, I'd be livid. I'd be absolutely livid. I'm almost as livid as I was at the Marlins for their just complete disregard. So I guess we did do a COVID update, guys.
We did it. Sorry.
We'll come back with we changed it. We're going to change it. We're going to do COVID rants. So we'll be back with our next rant on who we're mad at next week. Stay tuned.
I like that. That's more fitting.
We'll be mad at somebody next week because we're always mad. But we're going to get into the main event. And fellas, Max, I know JJ just hugged it out with you, but unfortunately, this is one of those things that we might not be able to hug out. It's been a tough news cycle, especially for the Philadelphia 76ers. And this one is kind of, there's been multiple arguments, injury prone or prone to injury.
Oh.
It's a tough one to answer, but the question that we're going to ask for now is, guys, where do the Sixers go with these injuries? With Ben Simmons having a surgery on a quote-unquote loose body in his left knee, with Joel Embiid having having a new ankle injury, where do we go? Max?
Well, I mean, thankfully the Embiid injury that he said, and the team has said that it's nothing major, and he might be good to come back as soon as after this next game, which is tomorrow, I believe.
Right, but how long is the timetable before it happens again? I'm sorry.
That's a different story. I'm just trying to hold on to hope that we're not down Simmons and Embiid for the rest of the season as of this moment in time. I mean, it sucks. It literally feels like, I'm sure you can go back throughout the course of history, throughout all sports. Like the most recent basketball example is maybe the Thunder with Katie and Russ post James Harden, where just every year in the postseason one of them was hurt, and it seemed like the other one was trying to out Superman the other in terms of who is the man gonna, who's the man? I'm the man for this year. But when you come back, it's my team again, and then that guy gets hurt, and then the paradigm shifts. So I don't want to say I don't want it to see come to that, but it is starting to become a trend where it's if Embiid's healthy, Simmons is getting hurt at a bad time, and when Simmons is healthy, which it seems to be more than Embiid is, because Embiid's hurt when Simmons is healthy. So especially in the playoffs, it happens, like with conditioning and enough issues they face on the court as it is. It sucks again because now we're always going to have the asterisk on top of this asterisk of the bubble and this whole playoffs. Like this was the year that they didn't have Ben Simmons after we waited all year to see what the Sixers' legendary, hopefully legendary defense would be in the playoffs. Like that's what they've been selling us on since this time last year when this team was constructed. So I think that's the most disappointing part for me personally. It's not so much that it's Simmons being hurt. It's that the fact that everything lined up so well for us because we had time to get healthy and adjust the lineup and try to figure those things out. And then all of a sudden we're down our second best player instantly, just like that. So I think that's where it comes into me for most. Like, honestly, the games haven't been too disheartening. Like, I still feel like my heart was ripped out of me more by the Pacers and TJ Warren than any of these other games. Like, Damian Lillard put up 53 or whatever he did, and I didn't bat an eye because A, I'm used to seeing guards do that to the Sixers.
Phase you, yep.
B, I'm used to seeing Damian Lillard do that in general. And C, we're playing with Tobias Harris as option number one. I love Tobias. I've vouched for him more than either of you two have on this show. But the team's not built for him to be the guy. We don't have the pieces around him, and it's just another frustrating experience. Depending on what side you're on with the whole Brett Brown thing. Probably gives him another year. I'm sure we'll get into that at some point.
I'm
sure we'll get into that at some point.
Do not do that to me. I swear to God.
That idea is in the universe already, so I'm just going to further materialize it. But feel free to get your shots in. The Sixers are down and not out officially yet.
Max, we just hugged it out.
So that doesn't mean
I'm not going to take shots at you.
There's always a little room for I told you so or whatever you want to mask it as.
There was no I told you so.
There was one coming.
There's one coming.
There was no I told you so. There was no I told you so. When we talked weeks and weeks back about the lingering Embiid injuries and how you're never out of that tunnel, you agreed. You knew that was there.
I know.
You agree with me. I merely just reminded you that demon was there. But there was no disregard on your part.
Just chirping in my ear.
Yeah, you knew he was there. Here's why it gets a little scary because you're right. It seems that one of these two are injured, when it comes to the playoff time. But for me, this year, I kind of think the wrong one got injured. I think if the Sixers were going to look for a good playoff run, I think this was the year that Ben Simmons took that playoff run or took the Sixers to that playoff run instead of Embiid. James, me and you talked about this extensively off camera, and it's really hard to authenticate this or it's really hard to articulate this. But I see a stat line of Joel Embiid of 43, 20, and plus 21 on the court. But then you still see a loss. And you watch throughout the 30 to 35 minutes that Joel Embiid is playing on the floor. And you can, yes, he has those 43 points. He has those 20 rebounds. You watch him accumulate these stats. But you watch throughout the course of the game. And how much is the game impacted? How much is the game shifted because Embiid is on the floor? Like, how much prowess does that gain when Embiid is on the floor? If I'm dropping 43 and 20, but I'm still about to lose a game to the Spurs, and I'm still dropping games to the Pacers, like how much is that? And we've seen Ben Simmons be a little shaky on the defensive end, especially against that TJ Warren 50-point game. I get that, but I've seen time and time again, we've talked about it on this show, about how Embiid in the playoffs and in crunch time hasn't really been the guy. They've went to him, and it hasn't worked out well. And I think this year was kind of time for Ben Simmons in the new role and the new offense that's formed around him to really take that step in the playoffs and have Embiid kind of pass that torch to Simmons and allow him to do that this year. And I think you're not going to get that if you're the Sixers, and I think that's an ultimate downfall. I do think that's where it unravels. Here's also what I will say. These two injuries are really overshadowing the fact that the Shake Milton experiment is not working out so far.
Nope, that's failed. It's done.
Like we have focused so much on the injuries to Embiid and Simmons that no one is talking about the fact that the Shake Milton move is shaky, baby.
I mean, I want to call it
Shake Milton against, in the last two games has 5 total shot attempts. Like has in the past 2 games has yet to take a shot attempt until the 3rd or 4th quarter. That's not what you were brought in.
I mean, you know that's going to change tomorrow when the whole roster is on the bench in street clothes except him. He's going to have to shoot 35 times tomorrow.
Look, I think that these 2 injuries are really overshadowing that fact, because that was the biggest thing for the Sixers going into the bubble, right? That was this is why the Sixers are improved. This is why you should pay attention to the Sixers, was this dynamic shift. And there were 2 parts of it. Yes, it was Simmons going to the power forward, but the other one was Shake Milton coming into the starting offense and playing the role that the Sixers needed him to, but he's not so far.
When we saw Shake Milton, become Shake Milton, the name in the NBA, before this whole shutdown happened.
He became a name in the NBA?
I mean, at least temporarily.
I missed that.
At least temporarily. I mean, dude, he lit up the Clippers that one game. That got him on the national radar.
It got him on the jump the next day.
I mean, it got him on the national. I don't know
that got him on the next team scouting report. That's
that's more than where he was at all season. All I'm saying is this: is that I don't want to be so quick to call the experiment a failure, because it's been 5 games and he's playing a completely different role. He's not being a true point guard. He is.
Failure was our good host James Hyden's words. I didn't call it failure
I would
yet.
disagree with the term failure.
I didn't call it failure yet, but it worked out as it should. It has not
been a smashing success. There's no.
No, not smashing success. It hasn't been a success yet.
Okay.
I guess we're still in the gray. I guess we're still in the gray area between success and failure.
Mixed results.
But we are heavily towards this side of failure in that gray area.
That's fine.
It hasn't even progressed yet. It hasn't gone anywhere.
It's too small of a sample size.
No, but all this 8 games is all you had.
Yeah, I know. It hasn't been 8 games yet. He can kill it the next 3 games.
We're at 5 of the 8 games. All right, Max.
When did he play his best? When he didn't have Ben Simmons in the lineup with him in March. Am I right or am I wrong?
You are right. You are correct about that.
So we'll see. I'm not just going to say it's too early. It's too early, because he did have one really good game. It was I can't remember who. It was obviously not the Indiana game, because that was.
I mean, he hit the game winner against the Spurs.
But that wasn't like a whole great game start to finish. He had good moments.
That was his 3rd shot attempt of the entire game.
Exactly. No, it was the game between the Pacers and Spurs. Or maybe it was the game after the Spurs. He did have one complete game where he was playing well start to finish, and that's the only reason why I'm not throwing him completely under the bus, because other than that game and the Spurs shot, he hasn't really done much to inspire confidence. I'll give you that.
I want to point something out to you, to Sixers fans out there everywhere.
Sure.
When these injuries happened, the Sixers and Sixers fans and everybody called for a stepping up of a lot of people. Shake needs to step up. Josh Richardson needs to step up. Al Horford needs to come back and step up. I haven't heard many people call on Tobias.
Because he's been playing so well.
I just needed to hear you say that.
Okay. If you're trying to plug Tobias Harris positivity, I'm with you.
Oh, no, I was going opposite direction.
Oh, well, then
we're not calling on him for a reason. There's a reason you're not calling on Tobias
please.
Harris.
I'm not doing this.
There's a reason you're not calling on Tobias Harris.
Okay.
Why not call his number? Why not call his number to step up?
His number has been called. He's been balling out in these bubble games.
I'm talking about for the playoffs, Max. I'm talking about
playoffs haven't started.